What's going on, guys? This is Austin FFA or Luna, and I'd like to apologize for missing 4 days of uploading. I'm just trying to, I really want to get my computer back so I can seriously start those daily uploads, because without my computer, I can't do daily uploads. This computer is so bad for uploading, but anyway, I know you guys don't like it when I apologize and ramble about bullshit, so I'm just going to get right to the story. I know you guys love the stoner stories from, when I used to smoke and stuff, so I picked a really good one, so I'm just going to get right into it. So guys, this took place about a year ago when I was in school. This is when I just started high school. And I've mentioned a few previous stories about this smoke spot that I used to go to across the street from my school. Now, I was in the wooded area. It's right by a burger place, and there's a little bench that we would sit at. So we went to this. It wasn't a bench. It was a log. But anyway, we go to this smoke spot, all right? Now, this happened the morning school started. I got off the bus. I didn't even go into school. I just went right away from school. I went across the street to this smoke spot. So I'm at the smoke spot waiting on a friend to come get me. I was sitting there. I called my friend who's 18. He's not in school anymore. I called him up and I was like, yo, can you come pick me up? I'm bored and I don't feel like going to school today. He's like, all right, where are you at? So I gave him the location. He parked his car at the burger joint and came to get me. And he came over to the log and he sat down with me. He's like, why don't you want to smoke a couple bowls before we go? Because I don't like to smoke in my car. And I don't blame him, because that's really sketchy, especially some people smoke in their car and then they get pulled over and they won't even be high. They just smell like weed and they'll get in trouble. But anyway, it's besides the point. We were on the smoke spot. We were smoking and having a good time. Now, I was talking about how paranoid I get sitting in these areas where there's a lot of people around, and I don't like smoking in public places. And this isn't even necessarily a public place, but it's a path where people ride their bikes through and stuff and walk their dogs. So as I'm talking about people who come through, a freaking guy comes through walking his dog, and I see him come by. He gives us a weird look. He kind of shoots us a kind of a dickhead look, and then he just kind of walks away. And I'm like, that was kind of weird. And I didn't think anything of it, because it was an older man with a dog. What's he gonna do? And I see him pull out his phone once he gets a good 20 feet from us. I see him whip his phone out, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. So I'm like, let's go, dude. This is getting kind of sketchy. So I go to my buddy's car. And literally, as I'm walking to my buddy's car, after we got off this path we were walking, I think the path, we walked in a good 50 feet before we got off this path. And, as we walk by the path, I look and I see an officer pulling through a Dunkin' Donuts getting coffee. So I got kind of sketched out, but, since we weren't really necessarily we were skipping school, but I was with someone who looked like a guardian, so, I wasn't too worried about it. I see him pull around to us, and he gets out of his car, and he goes, so the station just called in and said that we had two teenagers sitting in the woods smoking right by this restaurant. Is that true, guys? And he looks at us and he's like, I bet it is. And then my friend alright, so let me explain to you guys what my friend does. He goes on the internet and he watches too many videos of people standing up to police officers knowing their rights. So I guess by watching these, he thinks that he knows his rights like a fucking attorney, but he really doesn't. So he goes, excuse me, officer, am I being detained? And I'm like, oh my god, I face palmed. I was like, are you fucking serious, dude? So the officer's like, no, you're not being detained, but I'm going to want to search you guys. And he's like, well, no, if I'm not being detained, you can't search me. And he goes, excuse me, sir, yes, I can. That's what the officer said. And I'm like, dude, just shut the hell up. He has every right to do this. So, he searched me. Thank God I had nothing on me. This is what I had on me. I had one cigarette, okay, one cigarette. And what? One cigarette isn't even illegal to have on you, because in New York State, you are allowed to smoke cigarettes at any age. You just can't buy them unless you're 18. So that's the cool thing about that. So I didn't get in trouble. But my friend, on the other hand, who was driving and who has his license and was about to get in his car, got searched. And when they searched him, sure enough, they found weed. They found a piece. They found papers, which isn't a big deal. A piece and papers isn't a big deal. But the bowl had resin on it, which immediately determines that he was smoking out of it. And then the officer tried to search his car. Now, when he tried to search his car, my buddy immediately actually knew his rights on that shit. He was like, all right, no, you need to have a warrant for that, or you need, something like that. And the officer kind of threatened him with, I'm going to get the dog team down there, and they'll just rip your whole car apart if you don't let me search your car. And my friend was immediately like, nah, unless you get the dog team down here, you're not searching shit. So, surprisingly enough, I don't have enough good cops in my town, but we got really lucky with this one. Funny thing is, the whole time he was questioning about this, he didn't even realize that I was out of school, and it was 9 a.m. So I found that hilarious, but The funny thing about this is he actually let us off the hook and we got to go on with our day. Now, we immediately retreated back to school. I immediately retreated back to school. My friend was out of there. He got in his car and just drove off. And he's like, I can't hang out with you around school anymore, especially when there's teachers and, police officers around. So that's basically it, guys. All in all, we both pretty much got off okay. He just had to confiscate it. And my friend got really lucky because he's 18. If you get caught with that shit, you can get in some serious trouble. So anyway, guys, this has been Austin FFA or Luna. Stay safe. Don't get caught. Peace.